Peace and power. It's about that time. Get us up in here. Let's see. Get us a little music while we wait. And I ain't really got to put it on YouTube for the music, honestly. Okay. Let me get Pandora. Okay, listen in the building.
Yeah, I'm
Hey,
transferring.
sis.
What's going on?
Nothing, girl. Just came back from getting a mani pedi.
Oh, okay. I am. Let's see. Give me a minute.
Hey, everybody. We are in the building.
Yes, we are in the building. All right, let me switch.
Mm-mm. Hey, Rachel. I kidnapped my C laptop, so I'm trying to figure this out. Um, okay.
Okay, that's better. Well, let's see.
I'm just putting the book in here.
That's fine.
How's your Sunday going?
It's going good. No complaints. How about yours?
No complaints. I feel really good. Relaxed.
Awesome.
I'm gonna go work out after we get done. Get my workout started for the week.
Yeah, I'll be doing the same thing. I got a couple things I got to do. Get in the garden, cut some more basil.
Girl, your basil is booming. Yo, it's
Yes.
booming. Are you cooking with it?
Yes. I'm cooking with it, dehydrating with it, giving some away.
Girl, it's like a big tree. Mine too. I've been running from it. I'm looking like, damn, that basil is booming.
And then yesterday I found a butterfly on there. It was just flying. I'm like,
It's
oh,
beautiful.
yeah.
That blue one,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it was beautiful. I saw it when you posted it.
Yeah. And I got an order for candles, so
Well, that's good. That's good.
busy.
Come through.
Yes.
Come through,
Busy, busy.
Campbell.
Yep.
I still gotta place my order, Lisa. You gotta remind me, girl.
I
Send me.
know.
Do you have the a link? Cause you know I'm ready. I've been needing some candles.
No, I just got to figure out how to do all that. So, you know.
Yeah. Well, I'll just tell you. See what since you got. I stopped buying them because you start making them. So I'm low on candles right now.
Okay.
I ran to the store and picked up some ones for them to come take pictures, and I ain't even using them because I know they toxic.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Y'all, we hope that everyone is well. We are back. Um, I don't have the computer with the slides on it. Let me look at chapter 4 and see before we get started, so it will be no interruption.
So
It
it's
says
10 pages.
10 pages. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. That ain't bad. 5 and 5, no charts, so we're good.
Mhm.
I'm Styles by Nina. For those of you who don't know, my name is Nina. I am from Georgia. I live in Texas. I am the owner of Styles by Nina LLC, and what we do is hair, skin, and body products. And so that includes herbs and stuff, just wellness, overall wellness. I am a creator. I identify with creation. I don't do just one thing. And so I do specialize in skin and hair care because that's what I do. That's what I do by trade. I'm a licensed cosmetology instructor. And so I got into the health and care of the skin and body because for one, I've always had eczema. And then the other thing is just Sag is the teacher. And so once I started researching what these people are putting in soap, in body products, and in hair care, I felt the urgency to get something different to offer the people. Your skin is the biggest organ on your body. It is in close relation to your liver. And so anytime you put anything on your skin, it takes only 20 seconds for your skin to absorb whatever it is. And that is, if it's toxic things, that hampers the liver. And people don't talk about it. It's the biggest organ, and we just slapping stuff on. And so that's how I got into that. I want to give y'all a little history, how we got here. Also, me and Lisa, we met at a forex convention, and her son threw this big gigantic convention, and I'm thinking it's gonna be like we're in a building, it's cold, everybody dressed up, and it ended up being like a big concert, right? So we out there with the youngsters, and I was overheating, and I was saying to myself quietly, "Damn, am I going? Excuse my language. Am I going through menopause?" That's how hot it was in Houston. Okay, so I'm like, "Dang, maybe I'm going through menopause." So at the point where I just couldn't take no more of the heat. Keep in mind, I don't pay for VIP, I don't pay for food. I didn't want none of that. I wanted to go inside. And so by the time I got my chair, I'm like, I'm finna go. I'm like, I'm gonna come pick y'all back up later. I gotta get inside. You know, it's the emergency at this point. And then I walk around the corner and Lisa's just cooling it. She in shade. She back there looking breezy. She ain't sweating. And so I said, well, let me just stop right here and talk to her. And so we've been talking ever since. And so I'm just so grateful. I never left. I just chilled with Lisa. Lisa was in the shade, honey. And she introduced me to so many people in the Forex industry, I'll say. And it was just a beautiful day. And I say to myself, what if I had a bad attitude about it? I didn't, but I was burning up. But I
Mhm.
could have just been in a rage and like, I'm finna go and went the other way because it was another way to exit. Um, I went that way, and I just believe that the Most High would have you to take the path where He's going to connect you with people.
Mhm.
And so we have been friends ever since. We done went out of town together again to another conference and actually boarded a room together. And we just have been having a blast. We have been holding each other accountable. We read the first book, which is Mastering the Master Feminine, and we both went through that book and wholeheartedly went back to evaluate what it was that we had to heal on the inside, and we discussed it in full. And that's what brought us here today to y'all. We just want to make sure we get the male's point of view,
Right.
and so that's how we got into awakening the master masculine. After this, well, while we on here, I'm gonna put the details of the video because a lot of y'all been asking the link. Where's the link to get the book? I'm gonna put it back in the chat in the description. Do not forget to subscribe, like, and share, and comment so we can come up in the algorithm And Lisa's information will be there too. I'm gonna let Lisa briefly introduce herself, and it don't have to be brief, girl, because you know how we.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Definitely glad that you are here today to do chapter 4 with us. My name is Lisa. I am the creator of Apples Forever Scents. I make candles upon request. Been doing that for, I want to say, maybe a year now, I think.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, and that has just been something that I have one day decided I wanted to make candles because, so many different candles out here, and what they're making the candles with is definitely not good for you, as well as burning them in your home. The products as I use is beeswax, as well as soy. Is it soy? Yeah,
Hmm.
beeswax and soy. So everything is pure. And I just love what I do. I'm also a registered nurse, as well as a counselor. So I have a lot of different trades. I do care about people. If you ever want to talk, and it's about expressing yourself, letting somebody listen to any problems that you may have, because holding it in is the worst things that you can do. So anyway, definitely, follow me on Instagram, Apples Forever Sense, or Lisa3Mac. Would love to connect with you, just to listen or to buy candles. So yeah, that's pretty much me for it for now.
Boom! I'm so proud of you. I am.
Thank you.
So we are here. Like I said, we are activating these throat chakras. We also are operating in the crown because this book really makes you think when you're talking behaviors and relationships. And so just trying to promote healing in our community, especially amongst us.
Yes.
Um, we allow a lot of people in, but the fact is we have to heal first before we can heal anybody else. And
Yes.
so I did just put everything in the description box. Y'all go over, subscribe to Lisa's channel, her platform, go over on Instagram, show her business page some love. Y'all do show me love, but don't hold back. You can show me a little more love too.
Hmm.
Again, it is body butter season. And so
Yes.
I'm not gonna go into production until it's time. And so we're going into what season is this? Going into Scorpio? No. Libra. Libra.
Yeah. Libra. Yeah.
Libra season. So this season of body butter, and that's if I start up right now. The next season would be Scorpio.
Hmm.
I'll be using herbs from Libra and Scorpio in the actual butter. Like I said, it takes 20 seconds. So if you want to heal something in your body, the best way would be to put it in your bath water or to put it on your skin.
Hmm.
And so we'll be operating that from this point on. I don't like just making random scents because I never can go back and remember
Right.
oh, well, it went well unless I'm writing it down.
Yep.
But when we dealing in astrology, that's something I can remember a little bit better. So we're gonna get it done, y'all. I hope y'all are excited. Today is chapter 4. You last week did you start first or did I?
I think you started first last week.
Okay. So take it away when you're ready, girl. I'm gonna mute.
All right. Chapter 4: Awakening the Warrior Energy. There are three preferred models to awaken this archetype, nor are these the only methods. One, the ritual and initiation of second puberty. Two, an apprenticeship program in which the male seeking to gain the warrior energy is paired with a mentor who already has this energy active. Three, participation in a formal men's initiation program consisting of the core values of the fifth spear on the tree of life. To be valid, it must contain the elements of deity cultivation. One of the components of such a program would be participation in an authentic form of the martial arts. Young males will gradually awaken his warrior energy on his own, with no special training, but this method can take a long time. It is very helpful if the boy or young man has male models that already have their warrior energy active. The vibration of these men will, to some extent, awaken the energy in another man. The boys have the tendency to follow this behavior even before their own DNA has been activated. What would a program to cultivate the warrior energy look like? It would look like a cross between an army boot camp and an advanced martial arts school. However, there is one critical difference. Normally, the major component missing from both the Army basic training and the mainstream martial arts academies is a metaphysical. Metaphysics is a simple thing, yet very difficult to put into words. Most fathers have felt this too at one point or another. The female carries in her genes to deep metaphysical instinct to create life. Correspondingly, the male carries his genes a deep metaphysical instinct to protect life. For example, his warrior in his genes a deep metaphysical instinct to protect life. Oh, wait. Okay, I'm sorry. For example, his warrior energy activates once the female creates life. Sounds simple, but I assure you it is not. Can we say this metaphysical inclination is a basic survival instinct? Maybe. But who exactly is it that is surviving? Consider it the parents seeking their own self survival, or is it the survival of the children? We know some kind of instinct is there because most people have felt it. No drive is more powerful in a woman than the drive to feel a man's vital seed inside her and to become pregnant. You want to feel the anger of a man mess with his young child. You might bully the man and get away with it, but mess with his child, and there is no telling what he is capable of. We all feel these drives within us, but the common man does not know the origin of them, at least not in his awake conscious mind. We recall an incident reported in the media of a young toddler who fell down a well. The entire city was mobilized until they retrieved the little boy out of the well. Everyone stopped what they were doing, all men, all races, and income levels, and contributed what they could to the boy's rescue. The entire city held their breath until the child was rescued. In another example, 33 men were trapped in an underground mine in Chile. Half of the world got involved in the attempt to rescue them. But while this rescue attempt was underway, 24 young schoolgirls were kidnapped in Nigeria and killed. In another instant, a boat loaded with refugees, women, children, and men, left the coast of North Africa, seeking to assist a war zone. The Navy of Italy turned the refugees away, and some of them died. All around the world at any time, there are people homeless and others starving to death, and no one seems to care. So, whose survival are we talking about? Does this instinct just apply to producing and protecting infants? Is it just directed towards our own children, or is it also directed towards the neighbor's kids too? Do we only seek to preserve our bloodline, or does it extend only to our racial group or national identity? Consider these questions deeply. We are saying that the desire to create life and to continue life is intrinsic within the life itself. And without as well, this is true throughout all of the cosmic order. This desire is not merely a human thing, it is universal. We are responding to an urge that is internal and external as well. One of these inclinations is yin and female, the other yang and male. The only thing more important than being alive is the life experience, the doing. So there must be change, constant change. If there is no contrast, there can be no change and thus no experience. Likewise, if there is experience and change, then there must be death. The cycle must end, and death, the eventual ending of life, is more important than the beginning, the creation and protection of life. There is no getting around it. If there is change, then eventually change will lead to death. Wow. All cycles that start must end, or they cannot start in the first place. Without death, there is no experience, thus, no change and no doing. Just like without dark, there is no light, and without cold, there is no hot. So the cycle of causality in the second eon is as follows: life comes, but is inert without the ability to change. Change comes, and then experience results. But now the cycle of change means there is death, and death is good because an individual life forms can die. And it means the cycle of life can continue to cycle indefinitely. Individual life forms are finite, yet this makes the universal immortal. So it follows in causality that the instinct to survive and to protect life is universal. However, each individual is not forced to adhere to this law because one day they must die. Typically, men see themselves as separate beings, as a singular life, not as part of one big life. As a result, each man shares this instinct to protect his life. This belief can expand to include other people and things if he comes to believe these things are part of him. Either way, they are included irrevocably in his being. However, this does not apply to the female yin. As we have stated earlier, as a man develops and grows, he creates a circle, a boundary that defines those things that are irrevocably a part of his being and must be extension be protected and must by extension be protected. And those things outside his boundary may or may not deserve protection. The female does not create boundaries, rather, her nature is to dissolve them. Naturally and fully developed and evolved men should feel an urge to protect every living thing, not just his wife or mate. But if he has not developed his warrior energy, he may not feel any strong instinct to protect anyone but himself. This energy is so strong in nature that most men develop some portion this energy by experience. It is so woven into the fabric of life that just the act of living is often enough to bring it forward. This protective instinct is an internal force beginning in the cells and working from the microscopic level out to impact the endocrine system and brain and behaviors. In this way, it is mainly a chemical agent acting primarily via the hormones. The warrior energy is equally an external force beginning at the national, tribal, or institutional level and working with the macroscopic level back down to the individual and his boundary profile. Let us
So,
examine Let us examine the external model of the warrior energy first.
Hmm.
That was deep. I just learned a lot,
Right
especially.
out when it said the female does not create boundaries, rather her nature is to dissolve them.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Because
Yeah.
it's like, and just for me, you've been in a whole relationship and the boundaries are never resolved, you know?
Mm. Yep.
So I don't know if that's good or bad. Naturally, a fool get
Well,
up.
I don't know. I just didn't know that females don't create boundaries. Like, I think we both need to be create boundaries.
Yeah, but when they talk about it, because we talked about this in High Priestess class,
Mm-hmm.
it's like, yeah, you're supposed to have them, but it's weird that what the focus was when it deals, and this is what I've seen. When it comes to other females, we'll put those boundaries out. Oh no, this boundary, boundary, boundary. But when it comes to a man, when you talk about that, it's like they call that having a wall up. Because it's like for me, before I just say, "Oh, I'm gonna put these boundaries up," I'm gonna let you do what you do, and when you go too far, that's when I'm like, "Okay, yeah, you need boundaries," but everybody don't come in like that. And
Yeah.
so, even with females, I don't put up boundaries. A lot of people be like, "I don't meet new people," and that's not me. And
Yeah, me
so
neither.
I meet people, but
Yeah.
if you go to a certain extent and I got to put
Mm-hmm.
some boundaries in, that's when I put them in.
Right.
Like so, that's
Yeah.
that's reflective. Like okay, so our nature is to dissolve them.
Right.
But what you think about what you just read? What all you learn?
I mean, well, I learned a lot, especially with the death part of it.
Hmm.
Being as I just experienced personal death with someone that was very close to me. Um, it's just a lot. I mean, I know death is the end of the cycle and it does continue, you know, far as new life. Normally when somebody dies,
Hmm.
new life is being, somebody was just born.
Yep.
So it definitely continues to it's just a cycle. It's a cycle. And for me, I'm just, it's personal to me right now. But
Yeah. We both are experiencing the death of relationships,
yeah,
you know,
exactly.
by real death and just the death, you know.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
so that definitely gives me a little hope because it's something you naturally know, okay, when something comes to an end, usually there's something else that you're making room for.
Right.
And usually it's such on a grand scale that you can't even wrap your mind around it. And then when it gets there, it's like, dang, that's why this happened, you know. And so I'm claiming that for both of us. Like what's coming next, we ain't even gonna be able to wrap our mind around it. It's just this is preparing us for what's coming. So
Right. And that's true. That's definitely true. Sometimes people are not meant to be in our lives forever.
mm-hmm,
So you have to take that lesson that you learned with that person
mm-hmm,
and you have to figure out, okay, what am I going to take from that?
mm-hmm.
So that's for me, that's pretty much what I've been doing is learning from my past relationship.
Right,
There's
right.
something there, so we have to
Yeah.
figure that out.
And now I'm thinking like we did go into past relationships, just looking back at the feminine version, it's like what the book helped us do is pull out those lessons.
Hmm.
And some of the stuff that we were already past that we went back and read helped us to pull out those lessons. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, he said it's working from the microscopic level
Mhm.
all the way down to your endocrine system.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
that's deep. It's
It
like,
is.
you know, okay.
It's deep. All right. Okay, so we're going to start here. External model of the warrior energy. The adult male has a boundary circle within which he considers all things as significant and irrevocable, a part of him. He is concerned about them, but may not feel any strong emotion or passion to protect them. If he is a part of a nation, tribe, or contiguous group, then this tribe becomes the container holding his sacred boundary. It is important for that reason. So if his tribe or nation is threatened, attacked, violated, its borders crossed without permission, or some viable threat is perceived, such as disease, when his warrior energy is activated. In these scenarios, he begins to develop the warrior archetype energy, and his instinct to protect is triggered. In this way, all those things inside his personal boundary become more significant, more precious, and more a part of him. This may include such things as wife, children, land, assets, etc. His passion to protect them can increase dramatically. If a religious or ethnic theme can be infused into the national cause through icon, logo, or image impression, then the national container is upgraded and becomes consecrated. The more the container holding his boundary is at risk, the more his warrior energy comes online. His warrior energy surges to meet the call. The things inside his personal boundary rise from significant to sacred. This is why nations start wars without cause. The men of that nation will then fall in line, vote accordingly, act differently, essentially rallying behind the dictator or leader. The army knows this. Politicians use this. This is the cause for many wars, and is in the playbook of every major league coach, dictator, and ruler seeking to govern men. Throughout history, we see that the paramount means for shipping the warrior energy of men has been religion. The primary emotion used by these religions to trigger the warriors is fear. Historically, the main theme of religion has been to divide men into ever smaller groups, which are in conflict with one another. The level of mistrust and fear can be cranked up to every increasingly higher levels. In response, the warrior energy comes online faster and stronger. This means of stimulating warrior energy in men works quite well, but this means is not a natural progression and contains witnesses in approach. The primary problem is that the catalyst is a scarcity model and thus cannot be sustained. Over time, the illusion of conflict is dismissed by events. As these men serve in wars and conflict, they learn that no net gain was attained. We suggest you go back to the previous chapter in which we discussed male boundaries and review it. The proper way to develop warrior energy is through a rites of passage or a male initiation. In this mode, the emphasis is first on self-discipline and then the cultivation of power. By power, we mean first physical power of armed physical combat, then economic power, and lastly, spiritual or occult power. This translates into the martial arts, business acumen, the law of or legal code, and finally, spiritual evolution. These things equip the male to defend others and provide the natural framework in which to recognize justice. Warrior rites of passage. You have indoctrination, then you have the boot camp, polishing the sword, refinement, that's number 3. And number 4 is formal initiation. This modification may be physical, meaning chemical, or it can be energetic. If physical, we mean the hormones, brain neurochemistry, and cell biochemistry has changed. And if energetic, we mean the auric field and mind has changed. The brain is chemicals, the mind is not the same. The mind is consciousness and emotions and reason. If you do an activation of something so complex as the DNA or the masculine energy itself, it seems too intangible, yet it is very simple. Not really. The energy is a vibration. All energy above the elemental level is. Vibrations respond to similar vibrations. If you want to research the theory of resonance in machines or organic matter, the concordance or the concept of homeopathy in medicine, you would study the works of George Washington Carver, Jagadish Bose, India, Nikola Tesla, Bach, and many more. We do not wish to go too deep into physics or particle theory or waveform mechanics, so we will speak in various very basic mechanics. To awaken or stimulate the masculine energy in a male, boy, or man, you bring him into close contact with the same or similar vibration. Depending on how this is done, the first or master vibration creates an oscillation in the energy field of the male, which then acts to awaken and amplify the same vibration in him. This statement is not completely accurate, but gives a general idea. So the question becomes, where do we get this original vibration from which a man can awaken his own vibration? In second puberty, it is contained within the DNA. In the rites of passage, it is taken from a deity. The process is metaphysical in nature. As we have said before, this template from which human DNA is made in the 9 deities of the tree of life. The DNA is a chemical coding of the 9 deity system. The auric field is an electrical or electromagnetic coding of the same 9 deity system. When the holy books say that mankind is created in the image of God, that is what they mean. It is literal. Mankind is made in the image of the tree of life. He is literally composed of 9 sets of attributes from 9 categories, which each have cascaded divisions of subcategories. When all 9 categories and their subcategories are taken to their respective powers, the cumulative total number of integrals is about 3 billion. Wait a minute, what? Let me just read that again. When all 9 categories and their subcategories are taken to their respective powers, the cumulative total number of integrals is about 3 billion. Wow. About the same number of gene sets in the DNA. Each of the 9 deities represents a shaping and organizing force to which a category of attributes and traits can be associated. Each man is a slightly different recipe of the combination of 9 deities. The deities are inside of us and are not some external thing. When you hear some scholars say that indigenous people worship a deity, they have missed the point altogether. One does not worship a deity. One works with the ship, vessel, the carrier. One works the vessel, work the carrier, work the ship, equals worship. The purpose of deity ritual and deity religion is not to hold commerce with some external entity to get it to do something. No, it is to hold commerce with an external entity holding the pure vibration of the template deity in order to get the corresponding deity inside of us to do something.
That
Often,
makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense.
yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and read that because that's deep. Like I didn't know.
Cause I see people, and I do call it like, why y'all worshiping? For me, I work with my ancestors. I don't
Mhm.
go out and find random energies to work with.
Right.
I work with those that I know or I have known.
Hmm.
And so, yeah, you trying to activate what's internal.
Hmm.
And so that's what it's about. Not so much as worshiping the ancestors, because I don't do that either. It's like if I cook a big meal, I'm going to set the ancestor plate to the side first. If I'm
Hmm.
trying to get them to come in, influence, or give me some answers to some questions I have, and it works. It absolutely works. And you don't even have to give them nothing. When it's your family, your ancestral bloodline. Um, I was outside in the garden 2 weeks ago, and I'm
Hmm.
like having one of my moments. Like, grandma, where y'all at? Like, I need y'all. Where you at? I ain't seen you, ain't heard from you. And then I did me an ancestor card pull, and baby grandma showed up first. The first card, grandma was looking like, eh. And then grandpa came through on the second card. And so it works. You can just call their name out. It's
Yeah.
just as simple as that. And anybody that has transitioned from the physical plane into the spiritual plane, call their name. Don't just talk, call their name. They will come to your assistance. It's just simple as that. You don't have to give them anything. And I do. I give them because I know what my grandma like. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
And so that makes so much sense. So those of you, I don't know who on here, who watching, but even with the Christianity, what we don't acknowledge or realize is they are worshiping their ancestors. When you
Hmm.
go back and trace the places this person lived and who he was and the last names associated, it's their ancestors. It's simple as that. And that's why it holds so much power as well, because they have everybody worshiping somebody
Right.
else's ancestor.
Right.
Can
Right.
you imagine if we were all worshiping our own, or
Right.
communing with our own? It's just
Yep.
like, that makes sense. You trying to activate
Yeah.
something on the inside.
But the
Okay.
thing is, when you don't know, like you just don't know.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
So
And that's
I.
why it's power in it. Because me and Ray, we talk about it. It's like there is power and healing
Mm-hmm.
in it. But can you imagine how much more if it was your own bloodline that you are
Yeah.
healed by? Great great grandmama, you knowing her name, the things she liked, and asking her to come forth and initiate something in you to help assist you or whatever. It's like, yeah, yeah. My great grandma was a wanderer, and I don't know if it's by choice or force,
Mm-hmm.
but when you have that type of detachment from the world, or you ain't held to nobody, that's
Mm-hmm.
power.
Yeah.
Because we'll be in the same toxic situation and be scared to walk away from it. But when you don't, when you wander, your mind is not attached to anything. That's the last thing on your mind. You free. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, that's deep. I gotta highlight this. I didn't bring my highlighter. Okay.
I know, yeah, for me too. I'm recently started talking to my ancestors. I mean, because it's a lot of things that I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Growing up, I wasn't really with my paternal grandmother, because I was younger, so I was more with my mom.
Mm-hmm.
My maternal grandmother, I know her, but I just can't. It's just a lot of things that I just don't know about them. So
Mm-hmm.
I am trying to find out, different things that they did, like, why certain things happen.
Mm-hmm.
Right now I'm asking a lot of questions because I just don't know.
Right.
So it is deep, and
Yeah.
I'm just learning a lot through the book itself. You know,
Okay.
so I'm
Yeah.
grateful.
Me too. It's
Yeah.
good. Okay.
Okay. Often the shaman or ritual
Shaman.
priest, shaman. There you go. Often the shaman or ritual priest does not tell the client what is actually going on to keep an air of mystery about the process. Major religions have intentionally lied and misrepresented the deity concepts of indigenous religions in order to make them less attractive because they are competition. The deities, as defined by the authentic tree of life dynamic system, represent the pure original vibrations of which mankind is composed. Thus, to awaken or activate some human vibration, one of the masculine energies, one simply determines the correct deity or formula of deities and obtains their essence. Using this, one can cause an oscillation in the field of the male and thus awakens in him the energy desired. A change of behavior results. This is how talismans are made, and this is a definition of ritual. The easiest carrier or ship of a deity is sound vibration. But plants, flowers, minerals, molecules, colors, and certain binaural beats also do the job. These special deity transmitting sounds are called mantra, sutra, hiki, and spell. What is
Mm-hmm.
it? What is it? Heka and spell.
Mm-hmm.
In medicine, this is homeopathic. In
Okay.
therapy, this is reflexology.
Mm-hmm.
In witchcraft, this is the making of potions. In chemistry, this is alchemy. Over the many centuries, the people who develop a skill at working with the tree of life have sought to conceal it. Western science has sought to steer clear of the practice or promotion of metaphysics, and with good reason. Much of the information published and available to the public has been intentionally misstated, much in the same way computer files are encrypted. But do not doubt that there is a pure and authentic science of metaphysics. It works and there are laws to it. We cannot, in this short book, give the reader a clear and concise description or definition of the rites for awakening the warrior energy. That will require a separate volume of books. I can just say that the two deities of the tree of life, which activate the warrior energy in men, are the fifth spear and the sixth spear. Oh, and the sixth spear. The rites of passage to manhood, warrior version, involves incorporation of these two energies. A man or group of men will require the supervision of a guide or coach to perform this. This is done in the Grand Trine system. Also, know that the properly trained female who carries a moon energy and is mature in her feminine version of her energy can play an important role in awakening the corresponding energy in the male. This is the indoctrination stage. You want to pick up?
I pick up in martial arts.
Okay. What would a program to cultivate the warrior energy look like? After the short indoctrination phase, the male would engage in the purge of his physical body. He would attempt to clean his colon and liver. In the boot camp phase, the core principle is discipline. Here, the male seeks to unite his energy to his will. Thus, a strict diet is mandatory. Males undergoing such a rite should be separated from females and avoid polluting their energy with sexual intercourse. The lessons to be learned mainly involve who that man identifies with as the essence of his being. In other words, does he identify with his animal nature? Or instead, does he identify with his spiritual inner nature? When his masculine energy is released into his physical vehicle, it creates an energy in motion, and emotion, energy in motion. He must become the master of his emotions and not allow his emotions to continue to be the master of him. He must learn to ignore pleasure, pain, appetites, addictions, lust, and all arousal to action based on false belief systems. These are beliefs that are not in alignment to his deities or his natal nature. This is not to eliminate passion or pleasure from his life. Indeed, it is just the opposite. Once he unites his energy to his will and eliminates the pleasure and pain from false appetites, he will discover the surprise that the emotions that are left bring him much more elevated and intense pleasure and joy. Because purified emotions are pure, a man needs to learn how to ignore pain because a warrior must trudge on even after being wounded. Pride is often the enemy, and it is too must be subdued. If he is involved in a legal battle, he must be able to resist a bribe. The warrior's words must be pure, for false words will pollute him with a poison more deadly than food, or lust, or injury. Let me just repeat that. The warrior's words must be pure, for false words will pollute him with a poison made deadly than food, or lust, or injury. He cannot seek justice for others if he cannot see clearly. Understand, the woman must submit to the warrior, but how can she do this? Why should she do this if he is not in control of himself? I cannot, I would not. For a man to earn the right to be head of household, he must, of course, have a clear head and a stable heart. His true energy, his true enemy during this stage of development is fear. Thus, in the second stage, he must face and conquer fear. This begins with learning self defense. For this purpose, the martial arts are without peer. Hmm.
That is so deep. It said that his words must be pure.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because with false words, it will pollute him with a poison more deadly than food, honey. Ain't that
Yep.
worse than a liar? Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
That. Oh my gosh. It's just a lot. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely gonna have to reread. I'm gonna pick up at martial arts. Um,
Yes.
we owe much of the knowledge gained of the house of the man to various masters of the different schools of the martial arts. We wish to acknowledge here Grandmaster Tenin El Harab, which his name is Charles Scott, and Master Thomas Hargrove, and the International Circle of Masters. And so there are many others, too many to list. Training in the martial arts is not just about fighting, it is more about character building. For this reason, I judge the martial arts academies to be superior to the military academies in shaping and molding men of character. They both are necessary. The martial arts academies and organized sports have done more to shape the character of men in the modern times than perhaps any other institutions. We wish the public school systems would take note of the importance of this in the development of boys. The history of martial arts is rich. Imhotep taught hand to hand fighting to the general Khufu, who taught this to his troops. This dates back to the third dynasty of Kemet, about 3500 to 4000 BC. This is the Nile Valley civilization in the land now called Egypt. Many of the records describing the details of this system were destroyed when the Romans burned the great library of Alexandria. In ancient China, the Yellow Emperor is reported to have established academies for teaching the martial arts, and these continued for many centuries. This is about 2700 BC. In India, we see the first widespread practice of martial arts about 250 AD. It gradually spread to China. Now, we know when they're using DC, AD, all these Ds,
Hmm.
it's points in time where they not erased history and started over. And so don't get confused. A monk named Bodhidharma wandered from India to China about 450 AD. He entered into a Shaolin temple and taught a system of martial arts called Wushu. In the decades to come, the monks they modified the system to include five systems of wushu based on the movements of animals, tiger, dragon, snake, crane, etc. And this system is known in the West as Kung Fu. Other systems of martial arts were already in existence then. Sun Tzu, in his book, The Art of War, describes other fighting systems 2 centuries before Bodhidharma was born. But Kung Fu Wushu proved to be the superior version and has survived even into today. Europe has the same history of martial arts. The earliest versions of note occur in Greece in the form of wrestling. Sword techniques were also taught. These were a part of the first versions of the Olympic Games about 750 AD and still survive till today. The Nordic peoples of Scandinavia also had a system of martial arts in the interior of Europe. The art was mainly devoted to the use of weapons such as the sword, axe, or pike. In Korea, the art of Taekwondo was perfected, and some Asian scholars believe its origin dates back before Kung Fu. The Japanese perfected several systems of powerful martial arts. The most popular is karate, but this is not the most advanced form. But with the rise of the samurai, the sword fighting techniques overshadowed the hand to hand arts. In Africa, outside of the Nile Valley, the practice of martial arts thrived in both southern and western, sorry, both southern and western Africa. But again, the main libraries and centers of culture were destroyed during the colonization period, and we know little about the history. The Native Americans developed advanced systems of martial arts. The movies depict them normally with bows and arrows, but they were skilled with knives, small axes, and short lances. The soldiers of the American cavalry were no match for these warriors in hand to hand fighting. The common theme for most martial arts systems is that they were created and taught in the beginning by holy men. Indeed, most such systems were spread as the religions that promoted them spread. The most common weapon was the bow, a short staff or hard wood, not a sword. It was easy to make and very effective. Mm-mm. The sword became the weapon of choice only in the last few centuries. When metal refinery became more advanced, swords were known to often break in battle. In modern times, the fighting systems have been removed from the spiritual systems that spawned them. Thus, you have Qigong, Tai Chi, Wuji, Nigong, Yoga, White Crane, and many other systems geared to cultivating the Qi. They promote peace and health. But these systems and the fighting systems were all a part of one system long ago, and these combined systems were part of religious practice. Often the same temple that taught spiritual practice and meditation on Tuesday taught fighting techniques on Thursday. This is still the case with Shaolin. There's a lesson here for the man who seeks to bring forth his warrior. The first adversary is always you. The personal adversaries of pride, ego, greed, and malice must be destroyed in the heart. Then and only then does the hero gain the inner strength to go forth to fight injustice in the world. The popular television drama Kung Fu, which premiered in 1972, depicted this theme. Excuse me.
Get some water.
Right. I'm like, let me get some water.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, it premiered in 1972. It depicted the theme. The main character of the story, Kwa Chang Kane, was a Shaolin monk who left China to escape the anger of the throne. He was played by the actor David Carradine. Kwa Chang Kane was able to fight all manner of evil in the Wild West of the 1800s, but only because he had conquered his emotions, symbolized by the lifting of the hot kettle filled with coals at his rites of passage ceremony. Polishing the sword. A sword is not of much use if it is not sharp. So too the warrior. The might of the energy of the warrior is the willingness to engage. The trait depends. the trait. This trait depends in part on an absence of fear, and it depends in part on a nature that is unselfish. The warrior has a nature that places the welfare of his tribe and family above his own welfare. We term this valor, an absence of fear coupled with an unselfish nature is where the seed of valor is born in deity work. But it must be honed and polished. The polishing stage consists of two actions. The first being an attainment of warrior skills, the second being his validation by his family and tribe. He should receive a high level of training in the art of self defense. This instills confidence. He can then go into dangerous places knowing there is a good likelihood that he will come out. Training in self defense shows the young man that he is capable of more than he thought he was. It is not enough. It is not enough to stand up to a bully. Hold on, my eyes got lost. Okay. It is not enough to stand up to a bully on the playground. You must defeat him. Thugs on the street learn that your reputation is just as important as your ability. It is a prudent policy to give your early opponents extra bruises and pain. A surface beating is not enough. There should be long term pain and scars. This warns others that you mean business. And often a conflict can be avoided altogether when the adversary remembers what happened to your last opponent. Mercy, it made me think of a million things. Go ahead.
I know.
Mercy is earned by the judgment of the offender. If his intent was evil and he acted with malice of forethought, he deserves no mercy. For an excess of mercy encourages another round of poor judgment. Justice is balance. It is not punishment but harsh correction. The inferior man will do evil. And if he always gets away with it, he will continue to do evil. He will continue to do even greater evil. There is no incentive to consider other options, but if he is corrected harshly, the result is he will consider other options in the future. This may be all that he needs to begin to evolve.
That's great.
It is extremely necessary for the family and tribe of the warrior to validate him. The importance of this cannot be overemphasized. After he shows his willingness to engage, it is crucial that the family and tribe validate him. When he demonstrates his unselfish conduct, validate him. And when he has shown over time his devotion to the team and the task assigned, validate him. Failure to do so will result in a sickness in your society. In the absence of community validation, all the best warriors will leave. They will go wherever they are validated. Fathers experience dismay when their sons fail to stay in the family business. But he never validated his son. That's deep. Oh,
Yeah, we got to make sure we definitely validate them.
right.
Give them their praise, their props.
Excuse me. Women are the worst offenders when it comes to validating men. The man gets up and goes to work for 18 years. He defends his family and he's a good father to his kids, and the wife ignores him. He gets a birthday cake on his birthday, and the kids sing happy birthday. That is the extent of his validation. Then she wonders what was his motivation for cheating on her with another woman after 18 years. Really?
What?
That's what it's saying.
Oh.
I'm going to say it one more time for the women in the back. Women are the worst offenders when it comes to validating men. The man gets up and goes to work for 18 years. He defends his family and he is a good father to his kids. And the wife ignores him. He gets a birthday cake on his birthday and the kids sing happy birthday. That is the extent of his validation. Then she wonders what was his motivation for cheating on her with another woman after 18 years. Really? Soldiers serve in war, then come back home to silence. No parade of welcome, no pat on the back. A few veterans may show up to welcome him home, but from community proper recognition and validation is absent. This causes great negative fortune for everyone involved. The rich business owners, the beauty contest winners, and the city officials need to stop what they're doing and participate in the validation of soldiers. The cheerleaders should at least blow him a kiss, and the great captains of business can buy him a new pair of shoes. Do something. Remember, validation breeds loyalty, and without loyalty from its warriors, a community falls apart. Okay? Remember, validation breeds loyalty, and without loyalty from its warriors, a community falls apart. Warriors don't just serve as soldiers, they are lawyers, judges, policemen, workers, fathers, and advocates in civil matters wherever injustice resides. You cannot pay a man to be a hero or a champion of good. No amount of money is enough. Validation is his only real compensation. Understand this. There will come a time when the warrior will fail. He will lose he will lose his case. He will lose the fight, and his noble cause will not prevail. He may lose his campaign, or the army will lose the war. And the mighty hero champion, the warrior, is laid low in bitter defeat. Hold on. I gotta turn this off, honey. It's choking me. And I knew not to turn it on. Okay. Um, it is not a matter of if, but a matter of when. All warriors fail at some point. It is said that the master fails 100 times more than the novice has tried. The question is, will he get back up? After a bad crash, will the pilot get back on? Will a pilot get back into the cockpit again? There's a little child who really needs for her father to stand up again. There's a community that needs his warrior energy. There's a cause that cannot go forward without him. The government will falter if his voice of reason is absent. The masses are quick to validate the pro athlete, business success, and tech genius, but their contribution to society is optional, nice, but not critical. The contribution of the warrior is critical. The Grand Trine model goes a step further. Okay, hold on, y'all. I'm going to get another bottle of water and turn this fan off. Hold on.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we just got to make sure we validating our man, because I definitely know a lot of times where men are not validated. You know, we validate them for the things that they do wrong, but what about validating them for the things that they do right? And maybe if we do validate them at that time, then maybe they won't go out and do wrong. It's a lot to think about. A lot to think about. Validation is important.
And this, it reminds me of the chapter that we read in the other book when it said women are really just seeking their man's validation.
Mm-hmm.
And so we act out in many ways trying to get that attention because we have been taught that well, society has taught us that we need some kind of acknowledgement for our successes. And it's just like what it really is you're just trying to be validated by your man as you would your father.
Right.
And so yeah, it works both ways.
Yeah, it does. It really does.
Okay, my book fell. So what page was we on?
33 at the bottom.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, so change the actual energy of the male directly through something called Tantra table work. This is a form of energy healing. It employs Kundalini energy to directly modify the auric field and chakras of the male. Two, you will use a science called orthomolecular nutrition to change the internal dynamics within the cells. This acts mainly on the amino acids in the advanced form. Regimens are used to make key changes in the transcription process from DNA to RNA as a precursor to protein formation. The change is not limited to physical chemistry, but to also erase negative and toxic cell memories, which bind the whole reflex subconscious programs. Basically, this process has the potential to remove the resistance within the cells that hinder energy flow. Oh, sorry. I know y'all can hear the water bottle. Sorry. Okay. Permanently alter the counterfeit persona. At the same time, each man attempts to estimate what his natal blueprint of behavior is using something called the bagua, or bagua. He aligns his daily behavior to this model using whatever means he can. The result is a change in brain dendrite patterns, which hopefully begins a chain reaction that opens the door to allow deeply ingrained behavior patterns to shift. This can then be expanded and continue with something called second puberty, which will be defined later. Okay, so I don't know if y'all remember, but we talked about the counterfeit personality in the first book, and that is how we're showing up every day, not checking in with each other. So when me and Lisa hop on the phone, we'll get the surface stuff, but we make sure to ask, "How are you feeling?"
Mm-hmm.
Because usually when you asking somebody, "Oh, well, how's your day?" They're like, "Oh, it's fine, it's fine," but they're
Right.
never identifying what you're feeling like. If we talking about something deep, we listen to each other, but we go into how that makes you feel, and that's a part of trying to change the counterfeit personality. Because generally, it's like, "How you doing today?" "Good, I'm well, grand rising," just all this stuff, and then people be hurting on the inside, but you never address the inside. You were just addressing the surface stuff. And so they were talking about the counterfeit personality, and what I realized at 41, I had turned into a counterfeit personality. Just always trying to act like I'm okay even when I'm not. And that's
Mm-hmm.
heavy. That should be heavy for anybody. You falling apart, it's like, "Oh no, I'm good, I'm good, girl, you know me." That's not dealing with the inside. And so
Right.
I'm grateful we learned all this stuff in High Priestess class, to ask somebody, get a little bit deeper than
Mm-hmm.
just the vague "how's your day?" You know,
Right.
because sometimes the day might be okay, but they don't mean you okay. And so they talked about the counterfeit personality. I acknowledged that I was operating in counterfeit personality, and it also went into counterfeit personality chapter was also close to the chapter on 1,000 fake orgasms, or a million fake orgasms. All
Yeah.
that was tied in. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just not gonna operate in that no more. When I'm not feeling well, I'm just, that's what it is. And if you feel that you gotta distance yourself, then have at it. Because every day ain't a good day. And so that makes sense when it
Yeah.
says,
And I could say I also was operating in the counterfeit personality. And I think for me, people, you just walk by people and they always say, "Hi, how you doing?" And you always respond. That came to be so like daily, like a everyday
mm-hmm,
thing, you
mm-hmm,
know, that you would just say, "Oh, okay, I'm fine," you
yeah,
know. But I think with me, it goes a little bit deeper because um, maybe I just didn't want people to know my business,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
So because I know you, I've talked to you, I don't think I want to tell you my business. You
mm-hmm,
know what I mean? So for me, I had to pick and choose who I wanted to really, really, really get deep with when it
mm-hmm.
came down to, that personality, that counterfeit personality. So yes, today, sometimes I do still display that counterfeit personality, but with people that I know, like for instance, I'm gonna keep it real with you.
Yeah, yeah. And I appreciate that. Because I do want to make sure you're okay, just like you check in with me. And it's just like
Mhm.
anybody. And I don't mean anybody, let me say
Take
I
that back.
mean my reciprocity relationships, people that pour into me and I pour back. And
Right.
so we spend a lot of time pouring into people that never pour back. And so that's another thing that contributes to the counterfeit personality,
Mhm.
because you act like you're okay with it when it's really not okay.
Right.
It's like that book though, me and Lisa both, we were reading it, and then we spent a lot of time apart, not on the phone, because we both were going into those relationships
Mhm.
and really analyzing self and how we dealt or were dealing. And then we came back together and was like, yeah, this is what I've been doing and looking at. Because it was
Mhm.
very important. It's just like you have to shift your consciousness, and it starts with you. Like he just said what he said about the warrior. It starts on the inside. It's an
Mhm.
internal thing. And so if you never check, you just never know. And so I'm appreciating all this. Okay. This is so deep. And this is saying whatever. and it results in a change in the brain dendrite patterns, which hopefully begins a chain reaction that opens the door to allow deeply ingrained behavior patterns to shift. You have to shift. You can't learn all this stuff and never apply it.
Right. That's
So,
right. Yep.
okay, this is
What are
a
you here for? If you ain't going to change, like if you're not going to shift, why are you here?
and anything that don't change is dead.
Right.
Period.
Yep.
Y'all see, if y'all see a puddle of sitting water and that water is always sitting there still, it's no flow, it gets overwhelmed with disease and microorganisms. And eventually it dies off. So y'all, we got four more paragraphs, so I'm gonna keep pushing. Okay. So the model of society can render it very difficult to awaken this energy or very easy. This is especially dependent on the posture and disposition of the women to the men. The moon broadcast of the female calls to men and has a positive and significant impact on men and is the strongest of the attractive forces. It says she will nurture them. It says she is receptive to them. What compels men about this broadcast is that the woman is saying, I need you. It is an acknowledgement of his worth. It says she accepts him and appreciates him for all he does. Males go into another space when they are in that I am here to protect you and take care of you mode. If there is a great need for the warrior and the woman call him forth, or the women call him forth, men tend to evolve and develop faster. Unfortunately, so many women today are calling for the warrior, screaming for the warrior, and begging for the warrior, but he is missing the action. Many of the common toxins, conditions, and malfunctions inside the cell environment interfere with the proper operation of cell DNA. This is why you all really should, and you ain't got to order it from me because I order mine to use, okay? I do sell it, but this is why you really should look into the benefits of humic fulvic. It reprograms the health of the cell, and that is highly affected by not growing your own food and then having all this technology influencing your thoughts and everything else. I digress. Okay. And I'm telling you it works because, and I'm gonna be transparent this time, because sometimes I be hiding my little imperfections from y'all, but I'm gonna go ahead and live out. I had been having issues with alcoholism. I had become kind of dependent on it because I lived so far away from my family and friends. And so when I was feeling down, I would drink. When I was feeling up, I would drink. When I was feeling like social, I would drink, you know. And over the years, just acknowledging that my mom, my dad, my stepdad, these people had become dependent on substances. And me, I'm a preventative type of person. If I see something develop, I'm going to stop it in its tracks, right? And so once I started the human phobic, over time, that taste, it also helps with addiction. The taste for it is no longer there. And so now we went into fasting. And look, I be on some bullshit sometimes, I'm be honest. But we went into fasting and I was doubling down on the humic on an empty stomach because we was fasting. And it seems like now the taste is almost gone. I tried to have a drink and it'd be like, yeah, my body is just like, yeah, we ain't really feeling that. And so now when I'm emotional about something, instead of picking up a drink, I go and get my humic fulvic. So it's helping me with that. And also unhealthy eating. I was a snacker, heavy. My mama was a snacker, okay? I used to go in her room and be reaching under her pillow, getting her snacks, okay? And so over time, I had started stashing snacks in my home in little spots. And so with the human phobic, it's not that you don't want to snack, you just start wanting to snack on something a little more healthy.
Right.
So it's helping me with my addictions. I had a food addiction as well. And so put that out there. And
But
they
it's
just
good.
Yeah,
Congratulations on that.
thank
Definitely.
you. Thank you. And
Yeah.
it starts on the cellular level. Your
Hmm.
cells be really dying and screaming for help. And it's like you giving it all these toxins instead of trying to find out the root. And y'all go check out the mitochondria video because I did go into the cells, okay? For the women especially. That's why we be so tired all the time. It's a cellular issue.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, okay. So what was that? Women calling forth. Okay. Many of the common toxins, conditions, and malfunctions inside the cell environment interfere with the proper operation of cell DNA. If by whatever means you can improve one or several of these factors, you will assist to awaken the warrior. In general, the energy body of the typical adult male is neglected and immature. We mean the chakras, the auric field, the endocrine glands, the acupuncture, meridians, etc. Chi flow is not assistance. The level of Kundalini generation is very low. By addressing any of these issues, you will indirectly assist in the awakening of the warrior, especially focus on the root chakra, adrenal glands. Ooh, okay, adrenal glands, testes, and thyroid glands. The kidney meridian is very important. In general, the counterfeit personality is the nemesis of the warrior energy. When the counterfeit personality is mild, it obstructs the warrior attributes the least. When the counterfeit personality is severe, it obstructs the warrior energy the most. Certainly, we support the Grand Trine program that has been created, but it is not the only approach that will work. We suspect there are other modes out there that may even be superior to second puberty. Second puberty. But any mode will need to address the three issues we have cited above. And when we're talking about the Grand Trine program, he has a program
Mm.
himself on his website. Y'all go show the man some love. We're reading the book. Um, in a method, and he's in Georgia. If anybody's interested, he's located in Georgia. Y'all can find him on Facebook. Um, and let me drop his name in the chat. But there's a program he takes people through. What did I just do? Lisa, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
The
Can you hear
chat,
me?
the chat disappeared. Oh, never mind. Okay, what just happened? Let me put his name in here. But he's in Georgia. He has a program for men and women that help assist people go through second puberty, which is like being born again. We call that born again in the church. When you this is for us that came out of the church. When you are baptized, they say, "Oh, you're born again." Okay, so the second puberty in his energy work is equivalent to that. You coming out and having a different energy about yourself and having healed some of those traumas and stuff. Y'all can go look up Mr. Naya Mikiwa. Okay, so he spoke about his name and all that in the feminine version. I can't even really pronounce it, but he gave us a reason why he chose that name. It's a sound that assists in healing. The YAO. Okay, so we wrapping it up, y'all. Let me keep this back. Hmm. The modern man, for most of his life, is made to suppress his masculine nature. Men do not hunt in the wild forest anymore. Young boys are not allowed to fight on a playground anymore. Everything is controlled. If a man disciplines a boy or holds him to a standard of conduct, the women around want to put him in jail. Men have very little time to be men and can only be men on the football field. But most men only watch and do not have time to play. Even in the army, once a bastion of maleness, the role of the male has been reduced. For even in the act of killing, he is now removed from his adversary. He kills from a radar screen or from inside a tank. He does not come face to face with his opponent. A gun stands in the way. This reduces him. The military soldier has been replaced by intellectuals and technicians that destroy efficiently. War is now a matter of covert intelligence and high tech weapons. There is no honor in it. And that's why all the brothers that keep going out here signing up for this stuff, okay? Um, it's honorable, but to some extent, when they're training you on tech, how to, like he said, and it's my belief too. If you done grew up and you never got into a good old fight, you different. You just different. You different.
And that's the majority of the people today, they different. They can't even go outside and play jump rope or, technology.
Mm-hmm.
Technology.
Mm-hmm. We always say a hard head make a soft tail, okay?
That's it.
And
That's
so if you ain't never been in a good old brawl, then
Mhm.
you different. It's just like I think that fighting builds courage, and this is coming from somebody that was the only child that was bullied. Once I did go out there and put my dukes up, that builds courage and what do they call it? Self-esteem.
Mhm.
You're gonna win some fights, you're gonna lose some.
That's right.
But when you picking up a gun, that's kind of different.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's no place for a real man in our society. Discipline, aggression, and strength of character should be a part of the male persona. Even if he wears a suit to work, we have stamped out this part of the man from most men. We have replaced it with gross competition. There's a difference. There's no place for the truly male man in court, in the office, in school, or at home. He must watch actors portray real men on TV while he sits on the couch and dreams. Because of this, so many young men abandon their desire to achieve honor and instead seek the raw power and crude advantages that give them the advantage in a competitive jungle. Western style societies have no empathy for the spirit of the male in the man of today. And while we idealize the masculine persona in movies, we will not tolerate him in real life. Today, he is considered crude. He will find himself out of a job if he dares to stand up on principle or buck the system. Even worse, he may land in prison if he cannot conform. Too many boys grow up in homes filled with women. They are spoiled by middle class parents or the demands of a suburban family life that kill the male. Hold on. Too many boys grow up in homes filled with women, are spoiled by middle class parents, or the demands of suburban family life kill the male in a slow death of cutting grass and commuting. The modern machine world of the fire culture is devastating to the inner masculine nature of men. In the bedroom, males don armor over their masculinity like the condom over the penis, honey. And listen, that penis do feel different when you put that plastic on there, okay?
Right. Right. Yes, it does.
I'm gonna put it out there. I don't like it.
Yeah, it does.
So that's what it is. They trying to stop you from connecting with people, and they create all of these diseases or dis-ease or viruses just to keep a connection from happening. And then like skin to skin, that's why they tell you when you have a baby, it's best to do skin to skin as soon as that baby is born.
Yeah.
And so this book is just so deep, honey.
I'm gonna be going back, re-listening to it because it's just so much information. I mean, sitting here reading is wonderful, but it's like just go back and re-listen. You might have missed something, or you might just want to hear what they have to say. I mean, it's a lot.
Yeah, very deep. And the men are being emasculated because now they make it to where you got to pay all these bills till you die.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like you said, the men aren't hunting anymore. This is also a disconnect in the digestive system. If you're not hunting your food or catching it yourself, then you don't really know what you're getting. There's no energy attached to that thing. It's just
Mm-hmm.
mass killing of animals, and that's the big issue of the meat eating. It's like granddaddy used to hunt. Now you going and
Mm-hmm.
just buying this stuff out the store. That's
Yeah.
a disconnect.
Yeah.
If you talk about honoring the ancestors, you got to do what they did in some shape, form, or fashion. And so now men don't even know how to fish. Okay,
Yeah.
it's very, very, very. It's like a war on masculinity. Absolutely.
Yeah. That's why they definitely have to get back to, things that our ancestors did. And if they don't know, then it's nothing wrong with saying, I don't know.
Right. And being okay with not knowing but pushing forward and learning the
Right.
skills. Because
That's right.
I live in a farming area, and I ain't talking about just farming. We live by a river and a lake. So these people fish. There's a tackle store every 5 miles. Okay. Not even that far, hell, every 3 miles. And it's because everybody but us are still trying to be independent on a certain level, and we become adapted to the stores.
Yep. Yep.
When I go into them tackle stores, I'm looking at Caucasians only. Sadly, we done turned into them. I see us at the park, we jogging around, and it's just like, but you want fish, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
We out there playing with the football, but you don't know how to hunt.
Right.
It ain't the same, you know.
Yeah.
There is a certain energy that is attached to football. He said it in the book.
Mm-hmm.
But when you know how to hunt, you see a prey and you go after that prey, and you know how to cut that meat up and store it for your family. That's a different level of eating, even in the household. Your children respect you a little more because you went out there and actually caught that thing
Uh-huh.
versus going to the grocery store. And so
Yeah.
I think,
That's what my grandfather did. My grandfather, my dad, my uncles, my
mhm,
brother, they all used to get together and they used to go hunt. They
right,
used to go fish.
right,
So that's what I was brought up on.
yeah.
But then as time goes by, you run into that store.
And that should be a trait that women look for in men as well.
Yeah,
Ain't nothing like a big, strong man that know how to hunt. So
that's
if
right.
something pop off,
Yep.
then you still like you ain't worried about whether you gonna eat or
That's
not.
right. That's right. That's right.
Same thing with the fishing. It's like ain't nothing like it's like having a man at home on a video game. That ain't never been an option for me. Okay, me too, for real. Like, ain't nothing wrong with it, but I've seen it go left and right. And
Right.
so, you know how to get, and you playing Madden 2K or whatever the new stuff is. Y'all know I'm old. Whatever the new stuff is that y'all playing, the Mortal Kombat, that's when I was coming up. And then you don't know how to fish.
Mm-hmm.
There's something not attractive about that. And so, women, we still have to choose wisely. That
That's
energy
right.
that we're putting out there, you want a man that can supply you some food if they close down all the grocery stores.
That's right.
So,
Planting too.
anybody, you said what?
I said planting too. They can get out there and garden too.
Okay. Because I
Yeah.
met a gardener.
My grandfather was a gardener. So
Ain't nothing wrong with it. Anybody want to jump on any masculine energy out there? Want to discuss what we're reading? The link is in the chat box. Let me put it
yes,
down here
definitely
again.
jump on.
So,
Definitely want to hear your thoughts.
yeah, he said that we are not what it say we not doing for, I mean, validating. Okay.
Validating. Yeah.
Mhm.
That's a new word for the day. Make sure you're validating your man.
Yeah, the men around you validate, and if it goes both ways. We're gonna be
Yeah.
clear.
Both
We're
ways.
just
That's right.
we're just reading the masculine version of the book, but women, we seek validation all the time.
Mm-hmm.
If your woman is nagging, what y'all call nagging, it's us communicating.
Right.
Sometimes she's just seeking validation, and
Mm-hmm.
so that is a must. There's no option. Everything has to be balanced. And he just said that. And so reciprocity is the order of these relationships, any kind of relationship. Y'all, I dropped the link in the chat. And if y'all ain't gonna hop on here, child, I'm gonna go.
We're gonna go and get out of here.
Yeah, I got a workout. I want to work out. I love starting my workout week on a Sunday. So by Thursday, I can take it easy.
I know that's right.
Y'all, these are our t-shirts we got from MMO, the conference we met at. It's odd that every time me and Lisa get on here, I might have my t-shirt. I just love green. I got the green one. They had all colors.
Oh yeah, girl, I wear mine every day.
Okay. Like, I'm looking to see anybody got a comment. And so what we just finished was chapter 4 in Mastering the Masculine. Next time we see y'all, we will be moving forward to chapter 5, and that's the way of the healer. We just learned about the warrior and the warrior energy. So he's breaking down right now the different archetypes of masculine energy. And so I guess that's it, honey. We're going to go on and go. We have enjoyed y'all.
Yes.
Lisa, you want to say anything? You already plugged.
No, I didn't plug because for some reason I can't type. So, just
You can't
definitely no, I can't. Mm-mm. If I
type?
type, it's going to only type in the private chat. It's not going to type in, you know.
So do you see the because one says private chat and the other one say comments. Do you see the comments?
I'm in the yep.
And it won't let you type.
Mm-mm. It's just going to type privately to you.
So what you want me to put up? You want me to get your information and drop it?
Yeah, just drop Lisa 3 Mac at on Instagram.
Okay. I'm dropping it right now. I'm gonna drop the whole shindig.
I appreciate y'all, everybody that's coming on here, reading this book with us. A lot of information. Definitely, we have to do work. Our males need work so they can heal. So yeah, just continue to join us, share it with a friend, re-listen, because it's always something new that you're going to learn.
Right. And so I did just drop Lisa's information. Y'all know how to use computers too, child. That's her YouTube. I don't know why I didn't space it out, but it's also in the description box. And this is both her business IG, which I see on the screen, Apples Forever Since, and also her personal page. Yeah, don't forget to share, comment, and like, and subscribe or follow or whatever the terminology across the platform.
Right, across the board.
Yeah. Don't forget to show some love. You can place your candle orders with Lisa. Send her a DM. Y'all, it's coming into candle season, and if y'all celebrate the holidays, holiday season and stuff, you know you want your house smelling good when you're having family over and stuff. Show Lisa some love. Y'all don't gotta go and get these candles that's pumping out toxins into your home. Right. All that Glade and stuff that's pure toxin. She hand makes these candles. The scents are chosen carefully by her. So I love them. And also, holler at me if you need some body butter or anything pertaining to teas, herbs. Let me know. Very soon I will be packing all my things up, so it will not be available to y'all. I'm not gonna be worried about body butter orders, and I'm moving. Okay, so I'm letting you know. Get it in before I start packing up, and so we're moving forward with everything. We'll be moving soon, and I intend to make, like I said, either a Libra batch or Scorpio, and then that's gonna be it. I have to get these things in boxes and relocate. So. All right, y'all, we're gonna go. Nobody wanna hop on. Peace.
Bye. Hope everybody have a good day.
Enjoy your week.
All right. Enjoy your week, everyone.